Hey, AP Euro guys, it's Wallsware here, and he is extremely happy to be working with you from home. I've missed you. I've missed all my classes, and I'm sure you guys have missed me immensely. Um, so this is going to be interesting, but you're going to, I don't know if you're not going to get your daily dose of me, but you're going to get, I have a YouTube channel. I think it's just under C Walls where this is the link to it. So keep an eye out and, let me know how things are going. And always feel free to contact me with any questions. I mean, it's not like I've got a lot going on. They just announced that they're going to close down Denver. So, for what that's worth. Anyway, AP is going to be testing you from home. I don't know how that's going to work. But look, I imagine that if you do your work and you kind of listen to what I'm saying and then do the notes, because I'm going to grade you mostly on your notes. If you do that, you're going to do great, man. Don't worry about it. This isn't the time to be stressing about grades. This is the time to be stressing about Mr. Wallsware's what was once his 401k and his stock holdings. So anyway, kids, that's what you can stress about. Stress about my financial future, seeing as I'll be working till I'm 90. Anyway, where we left off, well, we had talked about Schopenhauer, we had talked about Kant, and by the way, the virus is, according to Schopenhauer, would be in a state of blind striving. And unfortunately, we are on the receiving end of said blind striving. So, one observation, and of course I'm going to be rambling on because you're okay with that, I think. But one observation is that I've kind of noticed is the virus is sort of the Earth's white blood cell against us. That's my profound thought of the day. Anyway, man, we left off Kant and Schopenhauer. I'll get to Nietzsche soon. I could talk about Nietzsche for the rest of the semester, to be honest with you. That virus is trying to pull a little will to power on us. Bam! That's some funny humor there. I wish I was in a classroom to hear you laughing out loud. Anyway, we left off with Napoleon finally getting his ass kicked at Waterloo. He got a little obviously the Sixth Coalition got a little lucky with that one, but they still get him, and they put Louis XVIII in power. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Louis XVIII because he's sort of a puppet. So he's one of the whatevers. But now they sit down, and a really important extension of the Sixth Coalition is going to be the Congress of Vienna. And the Congress of Vienna is headed by Clemens von Metternich in 1814 and 15. And Clemens wants to make Europe safe for the foreseeable future. And this is a Europe that's coming out of 23 years of continuous warfare. And you go back to these wars, and it's just Austria's succession and this stuff that spills over into the colonies, and it never ends. So they want an end to the war, which is perfectly rational. But the end they want to the warring is an end that poor people, which should come as no surprise, poor people are not going to be happy about. I know you were probably thinking to yourself, oh, they'll probably put the needs of the poor at the forefront of the Congress of Vienna. Sorry to disappoint, but they don't. 1814, 1815, they sit down, and they're going to first they're going to restore the old boundaries, and that a lot of that involves taking away from France their newly conquered territories. And so, and by the way, Louis XVIII really has no say at the Congress of Vienna. Talleyrand is the kind of the man overseeing the French perspective here, but he's not going to have that much power. He does bargain. I mean, he's there to bargain. So because he understands that he does not have a very, very good hand here. But the fact is, the other countries don't want to create a lot of strife in France. They just want to make sure that France returns all of the territories that they tried to usurp from pretty much the rest of Europe. Prussia, Austria, and Russia are going to sort of make big gains. And we don't have time to really go into territorial acquisitions, but know that Poland loses. I know that's a shock, but I know Russia will get the of Warsaw. They get Warsaw, the whole region of that. I don't know. Look, man, I don't know. Russia takes a big chunk of Poland, and Poland gets hosed. That should come as no surprise. This has been happening to Poland for 3 coalitions, and this is something to be expected. We do see the creation of Belgium out of lands, I believe, French conquest lands. So that will be taken back from the French and will be used to create Belgium. And we will create a German confederation with some of the areas like Bohemia, places that weren't a part of Austria and weren't a part of Prussia. These little areas, Hanover, Bavaria, that are just sort of going to become a German confederation. Now, all of you are probably well aware of what Bismarck's going to do with that German confederation in the future, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. With that said, the point of the Congress of Vienna is to map out a very conservative strategy for the future of Europe. By conservative, when we talk about conservative, we're talking about keeping nobility in power, and keeping the working man in his place. This is going to last until 1914. But it would be farcical to believe it's not going to come in contact with any kind of major issues. One of the major issues is going to be the eruption of revolutions in the 1830s and 1840s. Now, those revolutions are going to achieve, are going to achieve very little. But, and you're going to actually see how effective the Congress of Vienna can be in terms of its cracking down on these small pockets of revolutionary activity. So, to kind of summarize, they've made Europe safe for monarchy. I guess that's the best way to put it. That's actually a really good way to put it. So, what are going to be the problems? Well, one of the big problems that Europe is facing is the fact that, and we see some of this today, and remember Andrew Yang, the economy is changing. Europe is becoming industrial. And you also have this massive growth of cities on an industrial level. Now, industry does a couple things. Industry will create more money, so there will be more people because, as you have seen in history, the more money you have, the more you are likely to have children. Now, we will obviously get into Malthus and Ricardo going forward. But you're going to have more people. You're going to have factories. You're going to have urban centers, places like Manchester, in Liverpool, in England. And so what's going to happen is not only are you getting people in factories, but you're getting people in close proximity drinking. You know what happens when people start drinking. These pubs, I know it sounds silly, but like these areas where men gather are going to be really important. The way the salons were to the French Revolution, pubs are going to be very important to the uprisings by the workers that are going to be coming. You're going to have, a Chartist movement that takes hold in England. And the Chartist movement is going to be one of these movements where the worker wants male suffrage. This is going to be the big thing. And this is 1838. You're going to have this Chartist movement pop up, and they're going to want male voting rights. They're going to want secret ballots. They're going to want an elimination of property rights for parliamentary election. And they're going to want annual elections. And this is all going to be in something called the People's Charter of 1838. Okay, so these are going to be the kinds of tests that the Congress of Vienna is going to face. You're also going to have in Austria and Prussia, you're going to have these things. In Carlsbad, we have this rising up. The men, instead of pubs, it's going to be at like gymnasiums. Sorry, I'm trying to say it with a German accent. It doesn't, what an idiot. But we're going to have like these guys swinging on parallel bars talking about the rights of the worker. You're going to have student uprisings because they go to college and then they head off to the gym to do some calisthenics or whatever the hell they're doing at the gym. And they're gonna talk. You guys have kind of learned that people in clusters start to talk, and that's where revolutionary ideas come about. So you're going to have this Chartist movement. You're going to have this movement within Austria. These movements within Austria and Prussia and the German Confederation. And these are all going to be worker-based movements that are going to become somewhat violent. And the crackdown that we see from the governments are going to demonstrate and should give you a pretty good idea of just how serious Metternich and his people and the rest of the European monarchies, you're going to see just how serious they really are about keeping, quote unquote, the peace. Okay? So anyway, with that said, I'm happy to be back in the classroom, even though it's a stupid little online classroom. It's great to just know that you guys are going to be out there watching. So I miss you guys. I hope I see you in April soon. Give my love and my family's love to your parents and your families. We are worried about you all. And, take care.